Guys, please tell us how you are liking the video episodes.
Yeah.
Or do you prefer we go back to audio? Do you like to see our faces? Tell us, what do you think? What do you think? And remember, if you want to be a guest, hit us up. Or if you know someone that you think would be a good guest, right?
Yeah.
Hit us up.
Your feedback matters.
Right. So yes, give us feedback. Tell us what you think. Topics, what you guys want us to talk about in 2026. The year
Yeah.
is long, guys. So that we are not having many what's the word I'm looking for? Um we don't want to miss anyone is what I'm wanting to say. Right? And we now have people that we have put on in the lineup, right? So we don't miss anyone. Rather do it quick so that we slot you guys in. Hey,
Yeah.
can you imagine? We're slotting people in.
Wow.
We are
So
there, guys.
So we slot you into the schedule. So yes, do. But also, please continue to engage. Please continue to follow also the social media pages because wine and chats might just be coming back to a place near
Near
you.
you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, get ready for that.
get
actually.
ready. And just also for wine and chats throughout the year, tell us what you guys want to do. We don't want it to be the same each time. So let us know what you guys want to do. You guys know we only do what you tell us.
Because
Literally.
it's as told by us, but it's also as told by you.
Yeah. I always tell people that us is a collective.
Exactly.
So
We
it's not
are.
just us in front of you, but it's also the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, enough of that. Cheetah, there is a
Why are you're scaring me a little bit?
so also guys, you guys know we send a link to say if you have something you want us to talk about anonymously, you don't have to tell us who you are. It's an anonymous link, and for sure, guys, it's anonymous. We don't know who it is, and that's the problem actually, because some of these things you people send, I want to know who sent it. But somebody did make a submission to Cheetah specifically.
Why are you looking at me like
Because
that?
there, it said to Chiro.
Zin.
So there's Hansi. There is one that they call Chilo.
Oh,
And then he says,
The
I'm
one
not
they
asking
call.
for myself. I'm asking for a friend.
Oh, wow.
Right?
it never ends well when something starts with "I'm asking for a friend." Honestly,
How does one go about talking to this Chilo
Oh.
without knowing anything about her? Or, so there is no, if you have checked our social medias, guys, there is no direct link to us.
yes, stay away from
By
us.
purpose. We did that purposely. So they want to know, where, since you're not linked personally, where can they find you and start to holla at your girl?
First of all, I'm unhollerable.
Hala hala.
Please do not try to holler at me.
You don't want to be hollered at?
No, because it's just gonna be awkward when I ignore you.
Fair.
True.
Also, have you ever heard that phrase "Manono get a Colgate mazinaora"?
That's what,
Shout out to one of my oldest friends. She knows herself. She's in Australia. She used to say that
All the time, actually.
like "Manono get a Colgate mazinaora." So
Sorry,
So-
guys. Cheeto is unhollerable.
Yeah.
yeah. So
She's unavailable.
Anchabatika.
Anyway,
Oh, well.
That was a good one.
that was a good one. Good job.
Yeah, so this episode is going to be a bit more lighthearted. I hope. I feel like we all we try and keep it light and then we really go in at
We
the
go
inners.
deep, don't we?
But I just feel there's a time, I think it was you, Chido, you came to visit me at work. And hey, guys, that
Oh.
place was it was a lot. And we were just comparing just describing our trajectory in life and what our parents' expectations were of us and how we've met them, really. So it was like, oh, yeah, we went to school. We did the school thing. We passed. We made sure our parents were happy with our marks and everything. We went to university. We got the degrees. We're here. But it just felt like, I don't know, when you're doing something for someone else, when the reward and the success comes, it just doesn't hit
As hard.
as hard because it's not your plan. It's not like what you're like planning or deciding. It's more of this is the route. So it just had me thinking a lot about that discussion and the whole pressure of being a quote unquote good girl, a good daughter, a good mother, a good sister, a good friend, or whatever, and the pressures that we have surrounding that. So I don't know. Okay, now I'm going to get deep. When did you realize that being a good girl was tied to the affection, praise, or love that you received?
Ooh.
Yeah, starting was strong.
Right? Like,
Guys, we don't have much time, eh? We want to give the people the wholesomeness of the podcast. I'll start. I think, when did you realize that affection, praise, accolades, love was tied to you being a quote unquote good girl? Or rather, should we describe what a good girl is and
Yes,
then maybe
please.
it will help you
Yeah.
to jog your memory? So, I guess in our culture, a good girl or a good woman is someone who's very
morally,
agreeable.
yeah. I was going to say morally reprehensible.
Yeah. So someone who's not like too out there, like you're not too loud or you're not too, you know, we all know the person we're talking about.
Yeah.
You're someone who follows like the trail of things, like how I was describing. You go to school, you put your head down, you do what's
You don't get
required.
pregnant.
Yeah, exactly. You don't get pregnant. You don't do things outside. Our norm is van and wunu. You are the people who then like continue that on in quotes. So that would be a good girl. Someone who's, someone who's not trying to like rock the
Yeah,
boat
yeah,
too
yeah, yeah,
much.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
wakwi food, my feminist, gigi.
Okay,
I hate this question. Just because there's so many things that just came into my mind. And I can answer it in so many ways, right? When you say loud, right? You guys know my voice is loud. It has been, always will be. You know what I mean? And like, is she also very expressive? Yes. Is she a bit dramatic?
of
Definitely.
course.
Right? And think in nursery school wasn't really an issue. But the moment I hit primary school, being loud was an issue, right? Also, energy. I've got it, you know? So I've never, from grade 1 to upper 6, had one report that did not say, Scarantauri's, or she's disruptive, or she's loud,
And
or
therefore, she's
she's
not a good girl.
and like that was always like every consultation like and at that point I could tell like there were issues with my teachers, right? Like for my parents not so much because they're
Because
used
they
to
knew
it, they
you.
knew, and I think the trick with also being a good girl was that I knew if I had good grades my parents wouldn't fuss about the loudness, the noise. So if my dad would go to consultation and say, okay, but is she passing? They'll say yes. And he will say, so what's the problem?
She's a good
Like
girl at our
yeah,
house.
at our house she's fine and she's expressive, whatever. That's who she is. But I think had I been loud and not good at school, they would have been an issue. But I mentally knew it had to be one or the other. Right. And then as obviously as like life goes on, being an African girl in a very Zimbabwean household, right? A person who enjoys peace, me, I don't like arguments, I don't like whatever. So I'm very quick to be agreeable. because I don't need a lecture. I don't want to fight. Even if I don't agree, I'm one to just do it.
Yeah.
Let me just do it because then I don't. You're not going. What are you going to say?
Yeah, you're not
What?
ruffling feathers.
Yeah, I'm not like.
Yeah.
If I just want peace. I just want to be able to sleep. So if it means just waking up early and doing the dishes, fine.
You do
If
it.
it means like go here, go here, go here, do this, even if I'm tired, I'll just do it so that it ends the story. There's no fighting. There's peace in the household. Even if sometimes I've noticed, even if it's not a task that was assigned to me, but the person whose task it was did not do it, and now collectively we will
We're
all
all in
get in.
trouble.
I'm gonna do it.
Go do it.
I don't.
So you were the good girl.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I really, now that we've defined it, because otherwise, but now that we've defined it, yes, like, it's not so much that it was linked to affection and love. For me, that was never true. They would have loved me anyway. But it was linked to my own peace and mental health. I would,
I'd like to probe you there.
Okay.
Had you not done those things, would you be under fire for them?
for not doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I would have gotten into trouble. But also, they would love me. They would just,
I guess that would be the
Yeah, but I chose peace, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I chose my own peace, and sometimes it meant just doing things I never wanted to do, just to be agreeable, just to be.
Yeah, I find that as well. So I think just from speaking with my mom and people I like, my family, my mom always says like I was such a quiet girl, like I was a good girl, and so like that passivity, because as a child for sure, like it's only now that I am more like vocal. I'll speak my mind. I'll say how I'm feeling or whatever, but before I would say like high school, primary school, I was very quiet. And that was always just my passivity. And being quiet was always just like, oh, she's a good girl. She's not going to color outside the lines. But then when I did start coloring outside the lines, it was like, who are you? And it's like, but I've always been this person. It's just that I was being passive for the sake of, I'm under 18, so I'm also like, I just need to get this out of the way. But afterwards, where I was like now trying to like test the limits a little bit, that good girl trope was almost like taken away from me, because now you're coloring outside the lines. Now you're skating a bit too close to the sun. You're not a good girl anymore or whatever. Not to say that I'm not a good girl, but the perception of being a good girl and people kind of saying, who are you? This is not the Chido we know. No, the Chido you knew was just quiet and everything was just bubbling under. But really, it's only now that I've like found my voice, where it's like now you're trying to think that because I found my voice, I'm not a good girl type. So I find that's how the good girl trope applied in my life, where I was just really quiet growing up, and then when I wasn't quiet, it was like, who is this person type. And that was now almost like, I mean, it wasn't even a catfish. I think I was just coming into myself, right? I didn't know like who I really was, because I was trying to be this person that everybody's telling me I must be. So I think my true self, or my sense of self, was kind of repressed a little bit, because I needed to be that girl who got her grades right, who made sure that the teachers were happy with her, who made sure her parents were happy with her and her performance at school, and doing all the right things, ticking all the boxes, but then forgetting that as a person, my voice was being stifled. And so when I did have a voice, it was like, since when type.
I feel you there. I think
Yeah.
my stories of my childhood, I was not so much a good girl in the beginning. So I was very like boisterous and loud, and everyone would be like, guys, how are you guys living with this kid at your house and all of that? And I think what you're saying, Chido, there's like I think it's like a switch or something that happens, which is, I guess it reflects this question as well. Because there's this shift or something that happens in your childhood where you realize you need to act a certain way that might not be who you really are in order to be acceptable in society. So, like, I was boisterous. I was much like you, could I was very like loud, and I would, guys, should I out myself on the internet? I remember there's a time I used to like, this boy used to bully me in, I think it was like pre-K. No, I can't even remember his name, but he used to bully me, and I fought back. And Mm,
He probably did not.
maybe
Does not
not,
remember.
maybe not. But what I'm saying is that he would bully me and I would fight back. I wasn't shy to say, this is a boy. I can't fight back. Or a girl mustn't do this because I'm wearing a skirt. No, 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 no. We're going bar for bar. You hit me, I hit you back. Right? And I think at some point, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was when I went to primary school or because our primary school wasn't really, it was very, because
It
it's a
subdues you. Yeah.
it's a all girls school. You then need to be ladylike, and girls don't do that.
Girls
Sit
don't
like
sit
this.
with their legs crossed the way I'm sitting.
You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe when now I went to school, that's when I realized that, oh, if I act this way, I will get punished for it. So I then became very quiet and subdued and all of that. But like what you're saying, it doesn't change you as a person, because that's
Yeah.
like cooking in your mind.
In your mind, yeah.
And you also want to like have an outlet for it. So that leads us to another question where, yes, we all want to be the good girl and be agreeable for society. Well, we don't want it, but we're forced to do it. What Now that I think we're all out of that stage, or we're trying to be out of that stage, what were the things that you noticed that were now detrimental to you as a person? Mine, I can say, yo, guys, I was just exhausted. It's exhausting to be someone for
People
someone for
pleasing.
each particular person. So like you're saying, oh, if I'm a daughter, I must be like this. Must listen to my parents. I must make sure that I do what they want. And that sometimes means that what I want is put in the back burner, or I can't really fight for it. If I'm going to be an older sister, which I think is also a dynamic on its own for the three of us.
Yeah.
If I'm now a older sister, I need to do things in a specific way to be an example for everyone else. Hey, uri mzukuru wekutanga, you have pressure for that.
For me, I think it's the same, exactly like what you're saying. Because again, when you said muzukuru, I felt that. I felt that so hard because I'm the eldest grandchild, and it was like, I remember going into O level. It was Chido. Vamwe vese vakakutarisa. Wait, I'm not doing this for it was like, am I doing this for me? Or is this for me, or is to make everybody else, or is to give everybody else pressure behind me? Like, what is this really about? And I think, like you're saying, Anis, just the people pleasing. Because I then realized in my older age that, like, yo, I'm a people pleaser.
Mm.
And being a people pleaser is so exhausting. Because at the end of the day, what do I want? Why can't I do what I want? And I think I've always it was always the struggle for me, again, being that eldest grandchild. It's like I just want to do what I want to do, right? And it almost feels like that's my burden
Mm.
for life, right? Breaking that expectation, to say, no, guys, actually, allow me to do what I want. I've done everything for you guys. I've made you proud. It's time now for me to just do what I want to do, right? And I think it's taken a long time, like, for just my family to be on board with it. And even then, for like certain things, it still takes a bit of time for them to really get it and to see, okay, actually, yeah, hey, because that thing is always is there. You're the eldest. You're the eldest. Like at some point, I was talking to some of my cousins, and I'm like, yo, when does this end? Hey, like,
It
can this
doesn't.
end? I want this. Who do I give this birthright to? You can have it because I'm done.
I think for me, it manifested in anxiety
Mm.
and a really bad panic attack at some point because I assumed a role of perfection,
Yeah.
right? Like everything Klogasha did really was perfection, you know, like excellence. She excelled.
Wow.
It was wonderful.
Wow.
So that just became the level of standard, right? That I had to now maintain because at that point, maybe it was this is where I get affection enough from. I don't know. At that point, maybe it had all muffed together, you know. But there comes a point where you dip, right? So
Yes. You
Yeah.
you
make a
fail a class. Like
mistake. Yes.
listen, I've never failed a class, and then there was a time I failed the class, and then all of a sudden,
It's like,
We don't expect this from you.
I don't even know what to do with myself.
yes.
You know what I mean? Like I remember like the anxiety of it, right, made me I went into a very deep sunken place. You know what I mean? Because it when I say it had never happened, and this is now me as an adult that is happening, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm past eight, like I'm grown. So like to fail like how? You know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like all of a sudden the version of perfection, like for me that I had to be like
Wait a
I had
minute.
to see myself differently. First of all, like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, guys, I was destroyed, and it was the anxiety that I had, the depression I fell into. I actually got physically sick afterwards. You know what I mean? And it didn't change. Funny enough, it didn't change. Like the people around me, do you know what I mean? I didn't lose love or nothing, but it was a
It was a
mental.
mental
It was
thing.
so mental in my head that I had to like the standard was already set. And I didn't even know the standard was set until I really had like to deep you know, then I had to go back to therapy and had to like, why am I so like what was because then I gave up also was the thing. Like I failed class and then I said, I ain't
I'm
doing
not
this
doing
no
that
more.
again.
You know what I mean? Like I didn't know how to bounce back from it.
That's not healthy.
Right. And it's not. But you know how we're talking about like older being the older sibling, right? I think the ones behind me had the moment of, see, she's not perfect. You know what I mean? Like
We can
because
breathe.
yes, like finally she messes up. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think for them was I didn't also realize that the standard I had set was also impossible. You know, and now I it gave everyone like it gave me Like, breathe, girl. Like, actually calm down. You don't
Yeah.
have to be. It gave them a moment of like relief. Like, see, the person you guys have been telling us to be like, now look at her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It gave everyone like a moment of like, huh. We
So
can,
well,
like we can breathe now,
Yeah.
and even me, like I was like, wait, so I'm not. So I don't have to uphold this. So I don't have to like be clenched
yeah.
so hard all the time. Like I don't have to
Mm-hmm.
keep striving. I don't, which is also why I think now where I'm like, guys, I don't want to work anymore. I don't want to, because now I'm like, nothing will happen to me. I can breathe, I can breathe, I can sleep, and like I don't have to be chasing. I don't have to be doing. I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to be the good girl anymore. I'm
Mm-hmm.
letting it go. I'm releasing it, and I'm
Happy.
happy.
Yeah.
It's freeing. It's nice on the side. Wow. It's so good. But it really manifests itself in actual sickness,
Mm.
Mm.
actual depression, actual anxiety, actual nonsense.
Yeah. Remember that story when I was saying Chido and I were like sitting in the parking lot and complaining? Um, I think it also then is detrimental to you if you're in a corporate setting to maintain that good girl perception. Because in a lot of ways, when you're now at work, you need to be a little less agreeable. I use this as an example because let's say you're like in a very toxic environment, right? Because you're so used to just running with the punches, you're so used to just doing things for the sake of peace and whatever. You're not going to be someone who says, you
Who
know what,
questions
guys,
things?
why am I doing this? And why am I suffering? I'm out. Or you're not going to be someone who says, did you hear that this new person who came is getting paid way more than me, but I work a lot more? Why am I not fighting for a better salary or better hours or better benefits? I think it also then trickles down into that where you're saying, let me just be the good girl.
Yeah, it's
What's that book?
crazy.
Good girls don't get the corner office.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm,
Because you see, growing up, right, you're meant to be the good girl because good girls are the ones that kind of then, they get everything right. They tick all the boxes, right? So the good girls are the ones that get good grades, go to university, graduate top of their class, whatever.
mm.
But then now the good girl, when you go into the office, you kind of also can't just be passive, right? You need to stand up for yourself in so many ways, and also not even just when you go to work. I think in life, you can't just kind of life isn't necessarily going to allow you to follow a certain path, right? When we were like growing up, you could follow a certain path because I mean, you're just going to school, right? But then when you're out of that entire system, it's now other things that are. I feel like being a good girl takes away a bit of that resilience and a bit of that like because you don't have like real healthy coping mechanisms.
Yo.
Or boundaries. You know, I was even thinking a good girl in a relationship, right? Like, if you're not able to say, "Hey, sir, the same, the same
Like
age.
I don't like
I
this.
don't like this. Don't do this." You know
Yeah,
what I
just
mean? Like
yeah.
to set a boundary. If you can't do that because you want to be agreeable, you want to keep the peace,
Yeah.
then let me just do. You know,
Yeah, but I guess that's the pressure we're having. Hopefully, I pray that this does not go into 2026. But the feminist movement and women must be soft and you must wear a dress and you
yes.
must be agreeable and,
Says the girls wearing all black. I mean,
You know also what it is. I think the goal also keeps shifting. You
mm,
know, like what a good girl is also keeps shifting. Like
shifting.
the
yeah.
same way that style keeps shifting, you know, like I don't know what we just left, but now we're in the clean girl era. But like in 2016 we were in a different kind of era. You know what I mean? And like each year you're in a different era that you're following, and like so if I don't have a clean girl aesthetic, that must mean, you know, like I'm not following whatever, what the standard of a good girl at in 2026 is. And then 2027, you hear somebody says, oh, we're now going back to Avril Lavigne punk girl look, right? Now we're redefining again, And
Yeah.
if you don't do it for yourself, right? And you keep following whatever the trend, because I can tell you that a good girl, if we really think about it, could have been different. What a good girl was in 1950 versus what a good girl was in 2016 versus what a good girl is 2026. There might be variations of it. Like then, there was a point where being assertive and being like bold and being loud was, oh, you're doing well, stand up for yourself. And now it's like, oh, be quiet, girl. Like, don't be too loud.
Relax.
Don't be too out there. Don't be, when your makeup is like, let it be clean. Don't do a cat eye. But we don't like the cat eye. Now no one can do a cat eye. It's things like that.
No one could do a cat eye?
Okay. Clean girl aesthetic now. That's what we do. Right. But it's things like that. Like, because now you have to also remembering that perception. People don't, if they don't know you, how, let's say, you look is how they categorize you. Are you a good girl? If you walked in and I see your outfit and I see the
So
cat
wait, am
eye,
I
Yeah,
a
true.
good girl
Are
from
you a
just the
good
way
girl?
the way I look?
I now know you now. I can't answer that question, but I think
from
I think
how
if you
I
just
look,
walked
huh?
in, if you just walked in, I'd be like, oh,
No.
she's a bit bohemian. She's a bit out
Yeah.
there, but doesn't necessarily make you bad. It's just she's just out there.
Okay, so I guess maybe that's the thing where you're just trying to like slip under the radar. So you're like, oh, I'd rather just be a good girl than be someone who everyone is talking about when you arrive
Because
somewhere.
think about it, even at work, right? How you appear at work, right? How you show up every day and how you speak to people and whatever.
Mm.
That really does have an impact on whether you will get a raise. Whether it's not about how good you work, but like me, I've always been a personality hire. Okay, like
Even here on this
even here,
podcast.
I'm a personality.
Oh, you're the
hire.
personality of the
So if
yeah,
I
this is
say,
true.
like, if I can joke to my boss and say, but mate, we need an increase. Hey, I was going on to Maritza, show me. You know what I mean? And I could get it, because now I've built you a rapport, where I'm not coming at you meekly. Also, I'm not going, oh, boss, what do you think about
Say.
this, my salary? And I'm also not coming aggressively, right? I'm just like, child,
Madam Dara.
you see what I mean? And because of that, right, I can get what I want, right? But so if the way that you appear, whether it's the way you look or the way you speak to people, your
Yeah.
personality and character-wise, even in corporate, even in life, like Chido is saying, that's the things that, because it's perception, it's how people see you, and then they see they attach a value to you, and then you get or you don't get what you're looking for.
Yeah. I guess now you have to like really like toe the line because there's no way I would go back to good girl at the office. I've lived life, I've seen life. I'm best going to get my juice whenever I work somewhere. So I guess now how do you then that's corporate is like a whole different ball game because you need to now really see the politics and
play the
politicky and play the actual game because sadly it is a game. We wake up and go to work for 8 hours for a game, but the prize is a salary, I guess. So we're happy about that. We're very grateful for that. But yeah, I guess now, how do you then toe the line? Because I'm just thinking now in terms of family and all of that, I would still say I'm very much a good girl
leaning.
in
Same.
those situations because I don't want to rock the boat.
Yep.
And I know that people in my family are very traditional.
Yep.
They're very like, okay, no, guys, if we're doing this, the girls must be fully covered and all of that jazz. So now, yes, in corporate, I'm a baddie.
Betty.
I'm a baddie. I know I want this. They need to pay me that. But then in other spaces, I still feel like I am compromising a lot of myself for the greater good.
Yeah, no. I think culture plays a really huge part in all of that. As because you were saying, rightfully, well, I don't know, but I can relate to what you were saying to say that at home you are good girl. I don't even want to say adjacent. You are
Are they?
you are within. You have to be because culture kind of trumps everything when you're at home, right? And also, I think there's a saying like, what is it? It's a Shona saying like, "Unompakuanu" or something like that. You're supposed to be a good girl because you come from people, so you're also representing your family, your clan as a brand. So you can't misstep.
Brand.
Oh, do you know? Growing up, that was the thing. It's like you're representing a brand, right? It's not just you're not just Chido, you are Chido, and you're representing a brand. The brand being the name that is attached after the word Chido. That is your brand, and so if you don't represent as well, then there will be problems type thing. But whereas like maybe at work or just in the world at large, good girls don't get the corner office. You can't be meek and want to ask for a raise. You also have to. You need to have a sense of self-worth to say no. I'm actually worth more
Whatever,
than
more
this.
And
than
then
I'm
be
worth
assertive enough to
yeah,
say
and
it.
be assertive enough to go for what you want. But at home, shame.
No.
But I guess that's my
The
thing.
meek.
But you see, here's what happens. I don't know if you guys have been seeing, but like on TikTok, I've seen a lot of 30-year-olds, late 20s breaking, right? Like, especially cultures like Africa, like Asia, where, yo, guys, the good girl has been, it's been so ingrained. It's so ingrained. And the behaviors are so out of the world, also. And it's like, it's too much. It's another job, just to be able to smile when I'm supposed to smile and, serve people tea that I didn't even know were coming and, like, clean the house when I don't want to. Just things like that. And I've seen a lot of, like, I ran away from my toxic household. I've moved out. Like a lot of girls just waking up in the morning and just saying, you know what?
I'm over
I
it.
make money. I don't need to be here. You know what I mean? Because it goes into our 20s, our 30s. Like, it doesn't end, right? So now it's like, hey, listen, I make adult money now. My own money. Why am I still here, right? Even if we're going to link it to birth rates declining, achada, we don't want to keep birthing because you said birth. So until we also get the things we're demanding, we're not giving you more children. And I do feel like it's like because everyone's like we're tired of it. It's
Yeah.
exhausting. We're over it. And at this point, again, we make money. So there's like, what are you using to keep me here?
So my question is like, how do we fight this good girl trope? Are we fighting it?
Are
If
we
so,
fighting it?
how do we fight it?
Is it a big issue?
Is it
Is
a detrimental
Yeah.
thing?
Is it a personal thing?
I think it's a personal thing. If it's detrimental to you, then you should probably make a plan for it. Because as I was just thinking how different the person at work is and the me at home is, surely that's, of course, at some point that's going to be a problem because you're now trying to like juggle a lot of things at
Because
the
at
same
work
time.
you're like assertive, you're telling people what to do, and then at home
You're being told.
you're being told kubika sadza.
At some point, you're going to break. You know that show Snapped.
That is submissive.
Tudama submissive kuda.
That actually.
Tudama submissive. Yeah, so I think at some point you're going to snap. Like, there's no way you can keep that up forever. So what do we do? Because, guys, in all honesty, I think if you see that it's becoming detrimental to you as a person, I think you really need to start fighting it.
Let go of the good girl trope.
Just let go of it. Because I think there's somewhere where we all thought if we're a good girl, we'll be rewarded for it. If I follow this specific path, it means I will get to this destination. And I think that's not even just a women thing, but like a people thing.
Yeah.
Like, if I did school like this and I did that as I was told, surely by now I'll be a millionaire. Surely by now things will be making sense. And that's not the case, as Chido had specified, that life is so different. So do
Yeah.
what is best for you. We don't want you to collapse.
All the good girls come to the comment section. I'll be there.
You are also the good girl. You'll be there.
I'll be there.
Alrighty then. So, if you are a good girl, come into the comment section and let us know. Come through. And if you
it's
are
an altar call.
someone, if you're someone who's decentering that, because I think we do need tips on that. Have you been able to decenter this whole good girl trope? Of course, you'll let us know if you're still talking to your family, because I think that's a big one where people are decentering their mothers and fathers, going no contact in the hopes of protecting their peace or whatever. So you let us know in the comment section. And yeah, I think we'll continue in our duality
Or at least
for now, while we
now.
get tips from you guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's that episode. Thanks for listening. Bye.
And now, as told by us.